Hello, 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 warm welcome. Let me give you a very warm welcome to this new episode of Boom System, Boost and Optimize Your Own Metabolism. And today I'm going to be reading from the book and loosely freelancing from what I read from the book, so you can start getting to know the material in the book and a little bit more about who I am and why we're here and what we're doing. So let's get going. This is obviously my work on how to say goodbye to dieting. So no more diets is the name of the book. And the system, the challenge that we use, or the system, so we'll call it, it's called BOOM, Boost and Optimize Your Own Metabolism, because we want to boost your own metabolism and we want to reset, we want to reprogram your ideal weight threshold or your set point, which is that thermostat that I'll be talking over and over again, that we have inside our own metabolism, that kind of dictates if you're going to burn fat or you're going to store it, if you're going to use the energy that you have today from the foods that you ate, or you're going to store them. Determines if we are in a day-to-day, regular, everyday basis, or we are in an emergency period and we're going through a long starvation process or time period, and we need to hold on to every calorie so we don't die. It's for survival. It's a survival mechanism, and that's the main thing. We have different survival mechanisms that are linked to the stress response. They're linked to adrenal glands, and they're linked to survival. From when we were in the caves, we were cavemen and gatherers and hunters, and still today those mechanisms are in play. And if we don't pay attention to them, if we're not conscious about them, they can sabotage our progress as far as staying in shape and losing weight or achieving your ideal health. So without further delay, let's go. This is no more diets. Okay, it's about reaching the body that you want, and also the mindset necessary so nothing can take you away from your objective. And why the mindset? Because in life, if you have a goal, let's say it is to lose a few pounds, just to, for instance here, for argument's sake, and usually you need three major ingredients to reach your goal. One is you need clarity. You need clarity. You need to know exactly what's your goal, how you're gonna get there. Be really specific about your goal, and that's for that reason we use SMART goals. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's a proven old formula, same old formula that everybody uses to set goals. Okay, fine, but we need clarity. Second, you need tools. You need the toolbox. You need the resources. You need the nuts and bolts to get what you want. The techniques, the tools, the techniques, the tricks, the hacks, whatever it is, the action steps that you're going to take to accomplish that. And third, you need the mindset, you need the motivation, because how many times you were absolutely clear about what you wanted? I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months and 2 days and 10 seconds. I mean, more specific than that, you cannot be. Okay, so you know exactly what you want. And you have the tools and techniques. Okay, I'm going to do this diet and that program of exercise and this and that. I have the tools, I have the personal trainer, I have everything. And then, for some reason, you don't find the motivation. Most people say, I don't have the motivation, or I started it real gung-ho, and then all of a sudden I lost track and I threw the towel and I quit. I took the chicken exit and I'm not interested anymore. How many times that happens in our lives? Every year, New Year's resolution rings a bell. So it's important to have those three ingredients in place and recognize that in order to have success in life, you need to have clarity about your goals. You need to have the tools and resources that you're going to need to reach them. But then you need the mindset. So the mindset is very important. We're here to provide you with the clarity, with the mindset, with the tools, and with the motivation and everything. As a matter of fact, you don't need motivation when the tools are good. If you have a good system, if you have good tools, you don't need the motivation. However, you're gonna need to reach the deep down inside of you And also be clear about your mindset. If your why you're doing this and it's important, it's clear, it's strong enough, it'll pull you. And then mindset is not so important. If the steps are so small, they're baby steps that they don't require great effort, great sacrifice, that you need to be like a samurai or a Navy SEAL in order to pull it off, then you don't need much motivation. If I tell you, okay, take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, you need to be very motivated to do that. It's so simple. Everybody can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, that's like, all right, I can do this. Anybody can do this. You need great motivation. However, if I tell you, okay, you're gonna start, you're gonna eat like a little bird. You're gonna eat paper, basically. You're not gonna eat everything that you like. You're gonna have to burn 2,000 calories, sweat like a pig, be on the grinder like the Navy SEALs, tears, blood, sweat. And I'm gonna yell at you, and you're gonna do 300 push-ups the first day and 200 burpees, and I don't know how many air squats, and you're like, oh my God, you're gonna need motivation for that. So that's the big difference. Okay, when you have a good system, when you know how the inner works, how things work. When you know the inner works of your body, when you know the inner works of the universe, if you allow me to say, you know how we think, how we operate, when you crack the code about human beings and the body, then you don't need great motivation. They should be effortless if you're focused, if you're clear, if you're conscious. And that's the beauty about using a system that is based on traditional Chinese medicine. They already cracked the code for us 3,000 years ago. We don't need to reinvent the wheel now. All we need to do is understand what they're saying, translate it, and that's the big effort. If I've done any effort at all, it's been to translate those concepts, tools, techniques, ideas to the Western world, because we don't live in the East. We're not Easterners. We didn't grow up in that environment, that philosophy, that way of thinking. And trust me, the philosophy and the way they do things in the East is really different than how we do it in the West. I lived there many years, I know. I've been all my life studying and immersed in Kung Fu, martial arts, traditional arts, healing arts, meditation, spiritual arts. So I know them well. And we like worlds apart, literally, night and day. So the only thing I've done is translate those ideas, concepts, philosophies to how we understand, how we operate, and make it easy for us. That's basically it. So that's how we do it, and that's why we don't believe in diets, and that's why this book is called, this program is called No More Diets. Okay, this is an idea whose time has arrived. That's for sure. And you deserve to find this information out, because this is different than anything else that you tried before, and it works. So something that's been secret, it's been not fashionable, it's been not in the mainstream for X, Y, Z reasons. It doesn't really matter. We're not going to get into that right now. But now is the time to really get this to the mainstream, and it's time for you to find out about this technology and this information. That's for sure. Okay, John Travolta is one of my most famous clients. I work with him making many movies, and I'll be explaining to you, and I'll teach you how we work with him and how we got him into shape, how we got him healthy without the sacrifice of no more hamburgers or no more pizza, or without the sacrifice of okay, now I'm going to turn your mentality into a Navy SEAL or elite warrior, and we're going to do all this crazy fitness stuff. No, you don't need that. So we did not need that. And at the same time, we got the goal that we wanted with him. So he's like my poster boy. We became really good friends, and I love him to death. He's a lovely person. He's a real human being. And I'm so glad that I had that experience, because I got to know the Hollywood world from the inside on an intimate level. And at the same time, that was another push to get this program out in the open, because of the story of John Travolta, because of the story of my cancer patients, and because my own suffering, my own pain, struggling with weight and being overweight and being chubby and being ridiculed and being bullied as a young kid. That's why we're here today, and that's why this is becoming more and more popular, and that's why this is part of my life mission right now. I'm on fire. I'm motivated. I'm clear. I know it only took me 50 years to figure out why I came to this world, but now that I know the why I'm here, it's so exciting. It's so liberating, and it's like a monkey off my shoulder. It's like, okay, finally, okay, now I know what's my life mission. Let's get to it. Let's just do it, and forget about the rest. Forget about the interruptions. Forget about all the other smoke and mirrors, and just get down to work and get focused, get motivated, get going, baby. All right. So it's never too late to try something new. And I don't care if you tried everything in the past. I don't care if you think that you tried everything, nothing worked for you. I don't care if you're about to assume that something's wrong with you and you don't have what it takes. And you're just gonna throw the towel and just give in and give up and say, okay, so I'll just be overweight for the rest of my life. Now is a good time for us to meet, for you to discover this method, and it's never too late. So welcome here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited that we're talking. We're having this conversation. It might be unidirectional, just one direction conversation. However, I'm glad that we're here together, because I know what did this for me. I know what did this for John Travolta. I know what this system did for thousands upon thousands of my clients and patients in my clinics. And I know what it can do for you. So I'm excited that we're here. All right, Chinese medicine is what we're going to use as the paradigm, the magic toolbox, so to speak. And there's a saying in Chinese medicine that says, if you want to kill the dragon, the best time is when it's a baby, not when it's 7 feet tall and breathes fire. So when it's a baby, it's the best time. I don't care how far along you think you are, things could get worse, obviously. And now is the best time to get started. If you want to have shade, what's the best time to plant a tree? Obviously 50 years ago, and now you have really good shade, right? But what's the second best time to plant that tree? The second best time is right now. So right now is all we have, and right now is the perfect time. And there's another saying in Chinese medicine that when the student's ready, the master will appear. And we're here now, so it's not a coincidence. It's the universe that has brought it together. I do believe so. So if you believe it, continue reading. Okay, this is your new way to your new life. Let's go on. Why did I write this book? Okay, I wrote this book and I created this system, first of all, because I feel your pain. I was overweight as a child. I was ridiculed. I was bullied. I was so shy and introverted. I had a really, really hard time even talking to the opposite sex. I don't even tell you when it was time to dating and start getting interested in girls and whatnot. It was hell. It was horrible. And then I wanted to be like Bruce Lee, and I wanted to do martial arts and kung fu, and I was so chubby and overweight, and I feel funny, and I feel clumsy, and I feel stiff, and I felt all those inadequate. I felt inadequate, period. That's how it felt. Alienated. All the cool kids had their cliques and the little, and I was outside. I was the outside. I was never in. So I know how that feels, and I don't want you to feel it anymore. I know what I did to get out of that, and I know what worked for me. I know what worked for many clients in the past, and I know that it can work for you too. So I'm here to share my experience and also to document my journey, not to pontificate or to preach or to just be condensed. I'm not going to talk down to you. That's the word I was looking for. I'm here just to share. And if it helps you, great. If not, great too. We'll have a good time together. So that's the reason to write this book. And also the anecdote with John Travolta, the story that we'll go over it and over. We'll revisit it. But it was so shocking to me that I was like, oh my God, if it worked with him, why can't it work with the rest of my clients and patients from my clinics? And that was like a big eye opener. And thirdly, and I mentioned this in the past too, and I talk about it, the pain of seeing my cancer patients die. And basically, they would die because they could no longer be on a strict diet. When somebody has cancer, the first thing we do is we go onto a very strict diet, and basically, if you can starve the cancer to death, then you're cured of the cancer. So what you want to do is eat less, eat more alkaline, etc., etc. It's a strict diet, okay? And not everybody can handle it. No, some people do fine, and some others do struggle. And I've seen many of them that had a hard time doing it reach a point that they could no longer continue doing the diet, and basically they told me, Joaquim, I'd rather die than continue this living hell. And since I'm going to die anyway soon, so might as well enjoy it and eat what I like. And they would give in, they would give up, and they would throw the towel, and we would lose them. They would die, literally. So that was like so painful for me, because I don't care what they say. If you're a doctor, every time you lose a patient, it's personal, and they take a little piece of you with them. And through that pain I came to the realization, I came to the conclusion, the decision that, okay, no more. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than to put them through. They're already suffering through the chemo and all this. Now more suffering through diet, and there's got to be a better way. And we found it. And this is it. No more diets. The Boom system. So that's why we're here, and that's why I wrote this book. It's steeped in traditional Chinese medicine. Those are the tools that we use. I didn't invent anything. I just translated it and adapted it to our world, our needs, our wants, the way we are. And this is the product of my obsession with 40 years of being obsessed with health and nutrition, and why some people do get thin and get better, why some people don't, why some people, they seem to have everything and they cannot reach their goals, and some people, they seem to have all the odds against them and they do succeed. And my obsession with all those issues have brought me here 50 years later, 40 years of obsessing with it, and about 35 years of working professionally in the field. So it's nothing that just happened overnight. It's like, it's very funny, you know, when people talk about actors or singers, and they go, he is an overnight success, so, you know, all of a sudden, boom, and then you ask them, and no, nothing overnight. That person has been working and preparing and drilling and obsessing about their craft for years, decades, and there's no such thing as an overnight success. It's almost like the bamboo analogy. I don't know if you know that, but I use it very often in my workshops, in my clinic and my seminars. If you want to have bamboo, you're gonna plant the seed, and you're gonna tend to the seed, and you're gonna water it, and you're gonna care for it, and nothing happens, and many weeks go by and nothing happens, and you go like, oh my God, this thing is dead. What am I doing wrong? And you start to doubt yourself, and if you don't quit, if you continue tending to the plant and watering and being patient, overnight, one day it goes boom, and it shoots, I don't know how many feet off the ground in one night. It's like 5 or 6 feet. I don't remember, something ridiculous like that, like from nothing to a tall, really tall shoot. And of course, someone that goes by, they will go like, oh, nothing was there yesterday, and look at today, this big thing. So it's an overnight success. No such thing. You've been tending to the plant for many years, days, weeks, whatever, and nothing happened. But you didn't quit. You didn't give up, and then boom, you get the results. So it's the same thing in life. Okay, so stepped into traditional Chinese medicine. More than 35 years of professional experience working as a therapist, working as a doctor, working as a professional, as an expert in this field, and suffering this in my own flesh. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I decided enough. I got sick and tired of being that way. And I was lucky enough that I was obsessed with Bruce Lee, and I wanted to be like him. So that obsession led me to Kung Fu. And Kung Fu is a very physical way of life and requiring me to be in shape. So through that obsession with the Kung Fu is how I got out of my limitations and into shape. However, through my life, I would quit doing Kung Fu, and then I would put on weight. Or I would lose track of my goals, and then I would put on weight. And I was going in and out of being overweight. I've been in and out of being overweight all my life. Obviously now it's easier to don't stray too much from the path, and it's a lot easier to come back to my ideal shape. But I've been going in and out, and of course I had a professional career, where I was an elite athlete. I was in the Olympic team for Barcelona '92, for the Olympics in Barcelona, representing my country. I get injured, I couldn't perform at the Olympics, was a big deal. However, that put me in a very strict regime, dietary program and whatnot. So that was even worse. That's like one of those diets that I said, don't do those. That's what I did. And then that messes up my metabolism in my body even more. And then after that, I did a big swing. Same with the military. When I went to the military, they drilled me so hard. I was skinny as a twig. You could see all my bones. I left the military and I blew up like a balloon. They were forcing me to exercise in the military. So when I got out of the military, I didn't want to exercise at all, and I just eat like a pig. Didn't exercise. I blew up again. So I've been in and out my whole life, different time periods after my divorce. I put on weight. Every time there's a big trauma in my life, I put on weight and then I take it back. So my life has been that roller coaster. Perhaps hasn't been on a huge scale, because I had tools, tips, techniques along the way, from Chinese medicine, from the Kung Fu, from this and that, from the military. However, I've been in and out. I'm not one of those lucky guys that are skinny and they're skinny as a twig the whole life. I'm in and out. So I know how it is to lose focus, lose track or whatever, and then blow up like a balloon and put on a ton of weight, and then you need to take it off. I know that feeling. And I get sick and tired of that. So I say, okay, just like with my cancer patients, just like with Travolta, for me, there was a point that I say, okay, no more. There's gotta be a better way. Enough of this roller coaster and this craziness and this living hell. Let's find a way that I can have more steadiness in my life as far as health, as far as weight. And I apply my own medicine. I do live and breathe by example. This doctrine of the boom system and the no more diets, and lately it's been working for me. I'm not gonna say that I'm on my ideal weight, or I'm shredded, or I'm like when I was 20, because I'm 50 something, and I'm never gonna be that way. However, I'll tell you that at 50 something, I'm still doing the same activities I did when I was 20. I'm fighting, I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'm doing kickboxing, I'm doing kung fu, I'm swimming, I'm jumping, I'm dancing, I'm doing whatever I want, and the body follows. So I have quality of life, and that's more than enough for me. And I'm healthy and strong like an ox, and my immune system is to the roof. So that's the goal for me. That was my goal anyway. Your goal might be different. Everyone has different goals, but this system, trust me, is going to help you get there. So this book is written from the bottom of my heart, with all my soul. I really pour myself into this, and I don't care if you're male, female, young, old. You're going to reach your goals with this system, guaranteed. And I'm so happy that we're here and that we're doing this together. So a little bit about me. Now it's the About Me chapter. In case you don't know me, I'm going to be brief, because I'm not here for me, I'm here for you. Joaquim Almeria, born and raised in Spain. I lived many years in Japan and China, and then I lived almost 20 years in the United States, where I worked with famous people. I had my clinics. I worked in Chinese medicine. I worked in Hollywood, and I worked the Kung Fu and the things that I like. I went to the military there. My military service was in the United States. I went to war. I was in Iraq. I went through hell and back, and I survived, and I have all my limbs and all my digits and my brain. I didn't suffer much. I shouldn't say much PTSD. I did suffer some. It was a traumatic event, and boom, there. Also another time that I put on weight when I came back from war. I was having a hard time adjusting and finding myself again. And of course, I took on my favorite drug, which is eating, and I put a lot of weight after my tour in Iraq. So another roller coaster. And like I told you, I was obsessed with Bruce Lee as a child, and that led me through a rabbit hole of Kung Fu and meditation and Eastern philosophy and medicine, and it was so fascinating, and it really saved my life, because I grew up in a very poor neighborhood, in Spain, in a poor city, and my friends were not model citizens, if you know what I mean. So I get into gangs, into criminal lifestyle, not very healthy lifestyle, and all my friends were doing drugs and stealing and this and that and petty theft and the things that teenagers do. And Kung Fu took me out of that, and gave me a second chance in life. And it was in a very natural way, and it was a very organic way, and leaving that negative environment, I had an excuse, oh, I'm doing my Kung Fu practice, and I want to be world champion, I want to be in the Olympics, I need to train, so you guys, you go ahead, I'm going to do my thing, I'll catch up with you later. So it wasn't too traumatic of exiting that underground world and getting into the light. Like I said, the dark side of the force didn't pull me too strong. I was able to get out of that, and that changed my life. That was one of the big pivoting points in my life, turning points in my life. So from then starts my obsession with martial arts and philosophy, and being a world champion in Kung Fu. Obviously in the Olympics, as a matter of fact, I think in '92 in Barcelona, that was the first time, the second time that Taekwondo was going to be Olympic. And I did judo, didn't do too well in judo. I was better at Taekwondo, so that was my focus, Olympic Taekwondo. And I got to the Olympic team. I got the Spanish championship, the European championship. I went to the world championship. I did really good. I was scoring very well, all those championships. So I was ranking well, and I made the team. And long story short, I got injured right before the Olympics, working at the Olympic training center in Barcelona. And that put me on a wheelchair for a year or so. I had a double herniated disc. I didn't want to get an operation, so I turned into what I knew, Chinese medicine. That saved my life, and that was another pivoting point in my life. I quit doing, I was into a telecom engineering career. I was in the university studying to become an engineer in telecom and telecommunications and electric engineering, and I quit that, and I started learning Chinese medicine. Big pivoting point. Obviously after that, I decided to move to Asia, to China and Japan, and finish my studies there in Chinese medicine. And that was how I became obsessed with Chinese medicine, and how and why I'm here now. So yeah, that was the path. I practice many martial arts. I've been in the military. I'm a samurai. I'm a modern warrior, modern samurai. I like the philosophy, the warrior mindset, and that also helped me with my focus. Not necessarily my motivation, but focus and deciding what's important and what's not. And I don't know who said this, but I've lived my life by this motto many years ago. I adopted it in my life, and I've been using it since. If it's not worth dying for, it's not worth fighting for. However, if it's worth dying for, you're gonna go full out no matter what. So your life, your health, obviously that's worth dying for, and that's a fight that I'm not gonna shy away from. And I'm in the trenches. I'm in the fight every day about my life, about my health, and to live by example as well. That's a very samurai thing. You need to lead your troops by example. I've never wanted to be one of those guys. Do what I say, know what I do. So when I teach the system, I do it. When I have a client, I do the challenge with them. When I have a patient, I do what I'm teaching them. When I have a client, now I'm doing consulting and whatnot, and I'm telling someone to do it, I'm doing it with them too. I'm applying the lesson to myself and showing them, see, I can do it, and this is how I do it. You don't need to do it like I do, but it can be done this way as well. But always leading by example. That's really important. And that's a little bit about me. I don't think you need to know anymore at this point. That's more than enough. Okay, so let's go with the intro about the system and my compromise, my commitment to you, and we'll leave it at that for today. All right. If you're overweight, if you're struggling with your weight, you're in the right place. If you don't like what you see when you look in the mirror, if you don't have the health, the energy to play with your kids, to do things that other people do, because your body is not allowing you, your knees, your joints, you feel too sluggish, you feel too heavy, whatever it is, it's very probable, it's very possible that you think that it's your fault, and that you don't have the willpower, or that you eat too much, or that you don't exercise, or that something's wrong with your metabolism of your thyroid. I'm here to tell you that that's not true, okay? And not even the experts. Diet and nutrition is like a really young science still. We're still in diapers, and not even the experts agree, or agree is a good word, on what's true, what's good, what's bad, what's happening. And it seems that I really like to follow the research, and I subscribe to medical magazines, specialized magazines, and I follow the research and what the University of Stanford and the University of UCLA and all these big universities, the Mayo Clinic, and the ones that put in the research and the studies about natural health and nutrition. And it seems that now is the calories the enemy. Now is the calories are not the enemy. Now the fat is the enemy. No, the fat is good. The carbohydrates are the enemy, and we're gonna eat only fat. Now we need to fast. No, fasting is not good. You should do intermittent fasting. No, you should do. You should eat every 2 or 3 hours. Which one is it? They're constantly contradicting each other. The research is contradicting each other. As a matter of fact, if you do I did this study. It was so interesting. Since the 50s, since the 1950s, we had many diets in the market that became popular. And invariably, each diet that pops up, like a mushroom after a storm, is contradicting the previous one. So fat diet, counting calories, carbohydrates, the paleo, the keto, this, the other one, they're contradicting the previous one. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault if the experts, they don't even agree, they don't have consensus. How you and I, people from everyday life, how are we supposed to figure this out? It's chaos. It's total chaos. So it's not your fault. And what you've been told about diet and exercise is not even true. It's not even accurate. It's half truths and bits and pieces of reality, not the whole picture. It's like a puzzle, and half of the pieces are missing. So it's a complicated journey. I'm not gonna lie to you, and we don't have all the information, and the information is wrong or missing pieces or misleading. So it's not your fault. I want you to know that it's not your fault, and now you have a second chance. You have a second opportunity to do this in a different way that works. So also, it's very possible that some of your habits, your thinking patterns, your habitual rituals that you do on your day-to-day have contributed to you being overweight, and you don't even realize that. It's very possible that you've been going in and out of diets, and that has been counterproductive, and you're not even aware of that. It's very possible that you've been in and out of exercise programs that sabotage you even further from your goals, from reaching your goals, and you're not even aware of that. So there's a lot of things a lot of myths that we believe, and a lot of things that we do that we're not aware that are against our goals, they're sabotaging us. We're sabotaging ourselves without not even knowing it. So that's another thing to take into consideration. And possibly you're like most of the clients and patients that come to my clinics, thinking that you already tried everything and nothing worked for you. Well, let me tell you with all humbleness and humility and love, with all love and all respect, that you haven't tried it all. You try maybe 2 things, maybe 5 things, maybe 15 things, maybe 20, maybe 30, but you haven't tried it all. There's many. If you try 30 and you'll be the exceptional one, you'll be the overachiever. Most people that come to my clinic, they tell me, oh, I've tried everything. I say, okay, make a list. Here's a pen and paper. Go ahead, make a list of all the things that you tried. And they came up with 4 or 5 things that they tried. But anyway, even if you're one of those that tried really, literally 30 programs or 30 things, there's thousands of them out there that you haven't tried yet. So just being a little bit honest with yourself, you haven't tried everything yet. And definitely you haven't tried this system, and this system it's awesome and it works. So welcome again to your second chance in life, to your second opportunity. So also, maybe you're obsessed with the scale. Maybe you're watching your weight constantly. Maybe you're too much. You're too on top of this issue, and that's not very healthy either. You should be concerned about your health and your weight, obviously, but it shouldn't be obsessed about what the scale says and counting the calories that you eat, and that level of obsession is not healthy either. So we're gonna help you with that. And probably you tried many different diets and none of them worked. Probably you tried detox programs, fasting programs, retreats, expensive things, supplements, this and that, personal training, and nothing worked. Again, it's not your fault. And it's like Tony Robbins, I think it says that if you're marching west looking for the sunrise, you're in trouble. Okay, so it's not your fault if everybody tells you that that's the way, that's the path, that's the thing, that's the way to go, and you try it and it doesn't work. It's not your fault. Just because everybody says something is true, it doesn't make it true or useful, or it's because it works. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, diet and exercise only work for 20% of the population. 20%. That means there's an 80% that try dieting, they try exercise, and they don't get results. So I get really, this is my pet peeve. I turn on the TV, I read magazines, or I watch social media or whatever, and it's ubiquitous. Everyone tells you, you need to diet and exercise. You need to do a healthy diet, you need to exercise. When the statistics show that doesn't work for 80% of the population. So why would be so stubborn about doing something that doesn't work for the majority of people? And that only contributes to more frustration. You try, it doesn't work for you, then it's my fault. So it's not your fault. The paradigm is wrong. It's broken. The machine's broken. We need to find a better way. We need to find a different way. And that's what we're here. No more diets. The Boom system is that way. Same with exercise. Okay, I'm sure that you went to the gym and you joined Zumba or paddle or squash or running or jogging or biking or whatever, and you know what it is to sweat like a pig and to go through hell and back, pushing your body through the limits and the aches and pains and even injuring yourself because you don't do it properly. All that pain and suffering, and then going to the gym, and you need to go and travel and the shower and the hair and the makeup and this and that, and it's like a whole production ordeal that takes 2 or 3 hours, and you don't have that much time in your day. So all that pain and frustration, the things that don't work, and it's not your fault. It's just because they don't work. It's not that you were not successful to make it work. It's that they don't work 80% of the time for 80% of the people. Only a few percentage of people that are very Spartan, or they have been doing exercise all their lives. Or I do exercise and I enjoy doing exercise, especially Kung Fu and the things that I love. But I realize that I do it not for weight loss purposes. I do it for stress release purposes. And if I did it just for weight loss, it's not gonna work. As a matter of fact, it didn't work for me in the past either. I tried many times to lose weight just exercising and doing that, and it didn't work. I end up resorting to what I know that works, to my system, and then oh wow, surprise, surprise, this it did work. Or, well, you can make it work if you will it to work, and then you put in all this suffering and pain, and okay, I'm gonna do this diet, and then you're so focused, and it worked for a little bit while you suffering and so focused. But what happens when you get tired and sick and you quit doing it and you don't do it anymore? Then you gain back all the weight that you lost and then some more. And that's what used to happen to me too, because that's the way it is. That's why 80% of people don't get results. Long-term results, and I would say even less than 20%, if you ask me, long-term. Because anyone can be a weekend warrior. Any idiot can be on a mission for 2 or 3 months. Anyone can do it. Almost anyone. But life is not just 3 months. Life is many, many years. And I don't know anyone that's been on a diet, the same diet, for more than 15 years, 20 years, 85 years life expectancy. I don't know anyone that's been on diet for 80 years. And this is my profession. I work on this field. I've seen people every day, thousands of people I've seen in my career. And a single one of them has been successful in perpetuating a single diet for the long term. Diets don't work in the long term. And exercise, maybe there's something that you're really passionate about and you do it because it's your life and it's your mission and it's your obsession and that's why you do it. But people that do exercise to lose weight, that go to the gym or do fitness classes or whatever, same thing. If that's the only reason you're doing it, I don't know anyone that's been doing that for the long term. I don't, honestly, I don't. And I work this. This is my job. This is my profession. I see hundreds of people. I see a lot of people every day, weekly, monthly. In my profession, I counted the other day, more than 100,000 patients I have gone through my clinics already. That's a lot of people. So, if you have tried those tremendous efforts and nothing worked for you, not your fault. Do not worry. And if you feel like a failure, if you feel like something's wrong with you, again, it's not your fault. So I want you to have a long life, and I want you to feel that it's not your fault. You've just been told that there's only one way of doing things, and that's never the case. Please, 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 pretty please, never believe when people tell you there's only one way and that's the only way to do things, because there's always multiple ways of doing things, infinite ways of doing things. You're just limited by your imagination. But never believe that this is the only way for anything in religion, in politics, and much less in health and fitness. There's always infinite ways, many ways. Let's put it that, let's say generous. Many ways. There's always many ways to reach your goals. You just need to find out one that works for you, because everyone's different. And what works for me, my truth doesn't need to be your truth. What works for me, maybe it doesn't work for you. You need to find your own truth. Okay. So it's not your fault. I guess it's the message for today. So let me again assure you, you're in the right place. I encourage that you read this, you listen to this, you investigate, you learn this well, this system. This is the pinnacle. This is the culmination of my 35 years of professional experience and 40 something years of obsession in this field. And this is going to be a before and after for sure. This is almost magical. I'm excited. I smile because I know what's on the other side of this 8 weeks for you. If you choose to do the 8-week challenge with me, I know what's in store for you on the other side. I know what awaits you, and I'm so excited for you because I know what happened with me in my life and in the life of my patients and my students and my clients. And let me tell you, it's almost like magical. It is. It truly is. If you're not afraid of believing in magic and mystery, and if you agree that we don't know everything, and if you're humble like I am, every day that I learn something new, I'm more humbled of all the things that I don't know yet, and all the things we don't understand, all the things that science don't even understand yet, and we're discovering new things every day. So I think Rumi, one of my favorite poets, said, "Sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment, purchase curiosity." Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But if you subscribe to that idea in life too, that we need to be less, more curious, less full of ourselves, I was going to say, but more humble, and realize that we don't know everything and there's room for mystery. Maybe you don't want to call it magic, call it mystery. There's still room for mystery in life. So again, believe me, diets and exercise don't work. You're in the right place. And I'm just gonna ask you one thing, and we're gonna leave it at here today. Just be open-minded and leave some room for mystery in your life. Realize that you haven't tried everything yet, and realize that we don't know everything yet about diet, nutrition, and health. It's a very young science. It's a very young science, and there's still more to come, and we have more to learn. So I'm just gonna ask you to be humble, to be open-minded, to empty your cup so you can taste my tea, and just do the system. Okay, just do it. Just give it a shot. Just learn it. Just read the book if you have the book. Hear this podcast. Just hear me out. Just hear me out and give it a shot. Give it a true shot. And if it doesn't work for you afterwards, I'll say, hey, okay, so fine, didn't work for you. We had a good time together. Move on to another thing. But if it does work, like has been working for all my clients in the past and hundreds of thousands of people, this could be it. This could be it for you. So what do you have to lose? One more thing that didn't work, or the thing that really clicked, and this was the before and after, the pivoting point, the turning point in your life, the 180-degree change in your life, your new life. I think it's worth the try. It's worth the shot. So I'm just going to ask you that to give it a shot, a real shot, with an open mind, and nothing to lose. Just wait, just some pounds. That's the only thing you have to lose here. So let's leave it here. We're gonna leave it here for today. This was the lesson for today. We'll continue getting more into this and more meat and potatoes next episode. Probably I'll give you more things to do. However, my call to action today, I always like to finish with some homework for you, is to do this exercise, if you will. First of all, to decide. Okay, my call to action, your homework for today is decide that you're gonna give this a shot, that you're gonna try, that you're gonna do it. Don't try it, just do it. Just give it a 100% effort shot. We're talking about a few weeks of your life. What's that compared with the rest of your life, of a healthy, vibrant, strong life? I think it's worth the investment of time. And second, do an exercise today. I want you today to do a list, or just catch yourself on your day, hour by hour. Just do the following: catch yourself or make a list of all the things that you thought you were certain, that you thought that you knew, that you thought that we knew everything already, and then your day. The things that happen on a moment-to-moment basis made you realize that we don't know everything yet. That we don't know it all. That we can make mistakes. We can be wrong. Other people can be right. Ooh, what a concept! Others can be right and we can be wrong. We can make mistakes, and that we don't know it all yet. We discover more things. We learn more things. But there's still more to go. And write those things down when it happens, in that moment, and in that instance, in that environment, in that whatever it was that triggered that thought. Write it down, or think back and make a list in the past week. In the past week, how many times you were like, oh shoot, I'm an idiot, I'm a knucklehead. I thought this was this, and it was something else, and I shouldn't have said that, I should have done that, I should have listened first, I should have find out first the truth instead of jumping to conclusions, and I made a fool out of myself because I didn't have all the facts, and I thought I knew. I do that all the time. I'm not afraid to admit it. So I want you to do that exercise and make a list of the things that you did last week, and be really aware today on the events and things that happen at work, with your family, with your friends, in the street, with people, with strangers, and write it down. Okay, be extra aware and write it down. And it's a very humbling exercise. You'll realize how many times you thought you knew, and shit, there was missing info that was critical in order to make a good decision for that particular situation. All right, family. I'll see you in the next episode. If you like this, please share with other people in your social networks and social media. Give us ratings if you're listening to the podcast. Please give us good ratings, because this helps other people find us. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my channels, my YouTube channels. You're gonna get a video version of this, and whatever podcast channel you iTunes, Spotify, we everywhere. So whatever channel you or your preference you like, you'll find us there. And subscribe to the whole collection, because if you missed previous episodes that might have crucial information in order to understand and absorb better what you're learning today, that's always a good idea to subscribe to the whole series and start from episode number 1. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I love you so much. Tomorrow, next week, or on the next episode, whenever that is. It's been a pleasure, and let me thank you for being here, because I'm doing my life missions thanks to you, thanks to people like you that are listening and they are on the other side. If you were not here, I wouldn't be here. I couldn't be here. So I want to thank you for being in my life and allowing me to do my last mission, because it fills me with joy and purpose. Love you very much. I respect you. I honor you. Namaste. And my phrase is, may the chi be with you. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, family. Take care.